At that time, I was thinking and listening very, very deeply and reading emails and letters that were sent to me by people in our community, students, faculty, staff, partners of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and even some parents. So there was no shortage of input into me as president from you, the community. And a whole wide range of opinions and comments and urgings were expressed in those messages to me. I have to tell you, some of them absolutely were heartrending. The personal stories were read. I started by trying to answer all of them, and then there got to be too many of them for me to be able to take the time to respond in a thoughtful and appropriate in a way that would show that those emails and messages were being read by me. I'm telling you today, I have read them, and I have processed them, and I have taken them to heart, and it meant a great deal to me that you would take the time to do that. And I have to tell you, this is one of the hardest kinds of things that I have ever encountered as president. And I'm in my 8th year here at Hamline, and I was president prior to this for 5 years at a college in New Mexico. I've been in administration and the academic arena for well over 25 years. This is very difficult. But I also want to say it's not just my decision. Another constituency that also was very important to the question, and let me tell you what is the question. The question that presented itself was, shall the university, which is made up of everyone, faculty, staff, students, alumni, community, trustees, parents, shall the university take a position on the marriage amendment which is on the ballot for November's election? An amendment that would limit legal marriage to one man and one woman. A very, very important issue. And so I also relied upon the wisdom and the counsel of our Board of Trustees. I think first of all, you should recognize that anything that rises to the level of the Board of Trustees is being taken very, very seriously, and it was, very thoughtfully. And after weighing all of the inputs, I put out the message yesterday that a decision had been arrived at, that Hamline would not take a position in support of the amendment or in opposition to the amendment. Now here today, we're here to talk about the university's position, and I want to hear what you have to say. I just have a couple more things I would like to share with you. The decision is not about money. It is not about money. In fact, you're standing in this very building, which has been made possible by major donors to Hamline University, who, if you only knew how they felt about this amendment. And you know, one of the questions that might run through somebody's mind is, oh, well, we don't want to offend anybody because they might take all their money away, their donations away. It's not about money. Those donors are not going to be swayed by a consideration that's on money alone. It's not about timing. The decision's not about some end run around the faculty. Faculty were in the process of a vote. We reached the consideration and the conclusion yesterday morning with the Board of Trustees. And I felt that I owed it to the community to get the message out of the decision as soon as possible. Other institutions, faculties have taken stands. I expect fully that Hamline University's faculty will take a position, and I applaud that. You should do that. You should take your position and stand on it as a faculty at Hamline University. You have that right. It is your academic freedom. is your ability to do that. As students, you have today, in this meeting and all day long, and in communications to me, expressed your rights to your opinion and how you're going to vote and to your advocacy. And I applaud that. You should do that. The decision is based upon what we are at heart here, which is a learning-centered university that is comprised of diverse populations of people. We are about learning from one another, and the minute any university takes a stand and says, we only want to line up with these opinions, then what does that say to the others who may be just as many or not? I have no way of really knowing. But we've disenfranchised those people who are also part of the community. And so, to my mind, how do we come to a conclusion that is wise, that is principled, and that can be sustained over time? And the last word is really important, because there are so many issues in our society, so many issues in the political agenda today, that we all would probably have different opinions, and some of us would agree on some of them and we would disagree on others. That is the essence of democracy. That is the power of our vote. I was pleased last week at the Constitution Day panel that so many of you came to that panel and you talked about your concern about voter ID and the effect it will have on students. These are important matters, and so your personal and collective engagement and your voice being heard, whether it's as it was today or in other kinds of dialogues that you are going to have between now and Election Day and on the day after that and the day after that and the day after that, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And as president, I feel that I, as the CEO, if you will, the symbolic leader, and hopefully in most days the functional leader of Hamline University, is that my interest is what is in the best interest of Hamline that can be sustained over time. So to conclude my remarks and then open that for questions, I was asked earlier today, well, what do you expect of us? What do you expect of us, President Hanson? And I've been asked, is this decision final? The rallying and the urgings and the so forth that have come to me to this date have been important in coming to the decision. The decision has been made. I think the question is, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? What is it that Hamline University can do together, with all opinions being heard? What is it that we can do that will help others, both inside our community and all of those throughout Minnesota, understand the impact of this amendment? What can we do together? The second thing, my expectation is that there would not be any, and I use this as a strong word, but it is an authentic word, bullying. There are people that I have talked with who are in this very room who I know that this issue is extremely personal. Someone told me earlier today that it was so personal they really felt physically ill. Boy, that's tough for me to hear. I don't want anybody in our community to be hurt